Well, later tonight in November, snowfall is forecasted to hit the Twin Cities, but right now, calm outside, and of course, a calm day inside U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. And they will wrangle it down a couple yards shy of the 30. They'll start out on the ground with Jones. A short gain here, maybe a yard to the 29.
Well, sometimes you just have to give credit to the defense. Great job there at the point of attack, holding up. They won their battles at the line of scrimmage, left him no space to try and run. A really nice job swarming to the ball carrier.
Here's a 2nd and 9 now from the 29. Again, it's Jones. And he'll earn a couple of tough yards past the 30 to the 31.
Sometimes your philosophies get challenged at times you don't want them to. They did try to stick to the running game on the first 2 plays. Didn't amount to much.
And now facing a 3rd and long at the outset of this drive. A tough spot here on their opening drive. This is 3rd and 7. A shotgun snap for Darnold. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he will have a Vikings first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. Well, on 3rd down, he wanted to go to one of his most dependable targets, and that's who he found, his tight end there, to pick up the first, Charles.
And you use the proper word there, dependable, and sometimes spectacular, because tight ends nowadays, they can do it all. But they're the guys you trust, especially across the middle of the field where there's traffic. He delivers, and they pick up nice yardage.
Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Oh, that was a thing of beauty right there. Look at how quick those blockers fired off the line once the ball was snapped. That was an O-line on a mission, all in sync, and the defense is lucky that play only picked up 5 yards.
Darnold. That's complete to Justin Jefferson. And Jefferson's going to have the Vikings first down as he'll be taken down at the 46. That one goes for 8 yards. So into Cardinal territory now. It's 1st and 10 at the 46. In motion right is Addison. And they're going to give it to him on the jet sweep. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Let's just make this one succinct. Nice job there. All 11 guys on defense diagnosing the jet sweep and putting it down.
Here's 2nd and 7. Out of the shotgun, here's Darnold. A throw left sideline falls incomplete.
I think he had to unload that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Just lucky it wasn't a fumble, really. And now on 3rd down, they'll need to get it to the 36 to pick up the first. Darnold now to throw. Flushed out right. Give him 10 that time, escaping the danger, running with it, and picking up a first down.
Now that's a quarterback who's in charge out there right now. Wants to throw the ball on 3rd down, doesn't find anyone open, tucks it away, takes off, and picks up the first down. Not by a little, but by plenty.
Addison will go in motion left. He'll get it here on the jet sweep. Oh, and this one may need to go back to the drawing board. He's going to be swallowed up right away. 5 yards is the tally on 1st down. That brings up 2nd and 5. Defensively, they had that one pretty well figured out.
Yeah, one of the things about this play, it can be even more effective when you run a lot of motion, and there's plenty of times you don't hand it off.
Here's Darnold. Incomplete, but a penalty flag is down in the backfield. Let's get the call. They were looking to throw, holding on the big right tackle.
That's real simple, partner. Keep your hands inside in the chest area. You're probably okay. You get it out on the shoulders, get them wide. Usually going to pick up a holding call.
Temporarily out of field goal range now as they come up on a 2nd and long after the holding call. To throw is Darnold. Open man is Jalen Naylor. Without the previous penalty, that would have been a first down. Instead, it's just a gain of 10.
I do have to admit, I like it when it all comes together. When the top part, catching the football, right, whether you're catching it with your hands or cradling it, comes together with the legs, in this case the feet, doing a little toe tap to stay in bounds and complete the catch.
And a great job by our crew on the camera shot. Love when you see the grass or on the field turf, those rubber pellets flying up. Great catch. That's good for a first down, his second catch of the opening drive.
How about a nod to the sequence of plays they're putting together here? This has been death by 1,000 paper cuts on this drive. But this is one of their best plays yet, and they're able to move it down into the red zone.
They go back to the ground with Jones. Trying to bounce it outside, but he's only able to get it back to the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. It'll be second down. Looked like he was trying to bounce it outside, but no success.
Yeah, sometimes you got to just figure out where you're going to go, and sometimes you just have to take it to another spot. In trying to get it outside, the defensive pursuit was there and just ran him down.
And here's Jones again on second down. Fights him off. Still fighting for more. And so close, he gets it to the one. Out of bounds right there. A nice pickup of 14, and it moves the stick, sets up a first and goal. The impressive opening drive continues, and just space being created by those guys up front.
We're seeing this the same way, aren't we? We are seeing an offensive line, as this game gets started, as it starts to unfold, that they are dominating the line of scrimmage.
And that one blown up quickly, as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up second down.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
There's Hawkinson in the end zone. Touchdown, Vikings. 4 yards on the touchdown grab. And the Vikings will jump on top with the game's first score here this afternoon.
You got to figure down by the goal line. This is where a tight end earns his money, in the high traffic area. And he's able to work free in the middle of the end zone and grabs that one for a touchdown.
The extra point splits the uprights, and it's now a 7-0 game. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And he takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Call it the 26. Arizona getting ready to go as they take the field. Murray and the Cardinals with a 1st and 10 at their own 26. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. Finding his target, it's Trey McBride. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. That'll go as a pickup of 32 on the catch and run.
Usually in this spot, you'd hear an offensive coordinator saying, don't feel like you've got to get this all back at once. But here, they give up the opening touchdown and say, no time like the present to show what we can do too. And that's big yardage on their initial play from scrimmage.
And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first down run. He gets maybe 3.
Not a huge carry there on first down, but not all of them will be. But still, all in all, a positive play for the offense. It's all about picking up at least a few to set up what you're going to do here on second down.
Ball on the 39. Here's second down and 7. Murray now running left off the option. And they will only muster a yard here to the 38.
Anytime you decide to use your quarterback as a runner, most of the time when you design a play, you're expected to break a little bit bigger than this one, because when you run him on short gains, your risk-reward and him taking hits, I'm not sure that's the payoff they were looking for.
Now Murray Pass taken in by his big tight end. And this is going to turn into another first down as the tackle is made at the Vikings 16. A good pickup there, a 22.
Well, a lot of times when you get a manageable third down situation like this, you have to think about your tight end, and he comes through for him, picking up the first down.
Now contact up front as penalty markers come in. Who is this against? A little antsy on the left side of the line.
Yeah, I think they got the guy in the end. I think they got the DN there on that one. And let's face it, he is so amped up, wanting to get a good get off on the snap, jump too quickly.
So a 1st and 5 now after the 5-yard penalty from the neutral zone infraction. Murray a give. This is Connor. And he'll get about 4 there as he takes it from the 10 down to the 6.
Only 4 yards on that gain, but, you know, a lot of people would say that's like getting 9 in normal circumstances since this was 1st and 5.
Yeah, now your playbook's wide open here, 2nd and very short.
Yeah, I still don't think that you can count it in the stats that way at contract time.
No, it still goes down as 4, not 9. Now Murray, he bootlegs it. Eluding the pressure right. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Arizona. Kyler Murray, a 6-yard touchdown run. And the Cardinals are able to match the opening drive touchdown against them with one of their own.
That's a really good decision right there outside of the pocket. You've got to know the right time to shift from passer to runner. He was looking and looking, nothing there. You can almost feel the brainwaves firing as he calculates, I think I can win a race to the pylon. And he turns out to be right. Touchdown.
Each team's had it. Each team has scored. 7-7 here as the kick's away. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. And the Vikings taking the field here for their 2nd drive of the game. A good balance attack for that last touchdown drive they had. Now it's time to see if they can do that again.
And it really becomes a tale of 2 play callers, doesn't it? The offensive guy, he's in sync. Everything's working pretty well. For the defensive
guy, what's going on the defensive side?
That's a tough one because he's prepped all week as well, and he can't get a bead on exactly what they're doing right now. What he needs is one of his guys just to make the big play and disrupt things.
And he fights forward for a modest 2-yard gain, 2nd down. Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
2nd down, another shot for Jones. And he'll take this to the 32, a gain of about 3. That time the right guard sending him backwards.
And so many different types of guys rotate in on the defensive line now depending on situations. You can get the bulky guy, the fast guy. No matter what, though, you can't hold them.
They'll come up now on a 2nd and long after the hold. After the penalty, it's Jones. And they'll get to him quickly here as he'll get a yard, just a yard to the 22.
Watching that play unfold and watching him complete it brought back memories of doing all those pursuit drills to make sure you don't over-pursue and let a guy get a cutback lane on you. He did that very well.
You praised him on tape yesterday for the angles that he takes to the ball. Took a great angle right there. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. This one swung out here to Jones. And this will not get close to the 1st down marker as he's brought down at the 26. 5 yards, not enough, and it'll be 4th down.
How about that strategy there, Brandon? 3rd down, they just said, we've got faith in our tacklers. We'll give you the short stuff, and just decided to protect the sticks. So every time I hear fans telling me tackling's not a part of the game anymore, plays like that, I can clip and save and show them you have to tackle well if you want to be a good defense.
A 45-yard punt, 4 there on the return, and the Cards will take over 1st and 10. So the Cardinals offense back onto the field here for their 2nd drive of the game. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out, looking to repeat that in Charles' defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated, they both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other. But there wasn't much there with that hitch route. They didn't gain what they expected. But sometimes when you call a hitch, you really don't have an alternate to go to. You don't have a second route to throw it to. So sometimes you have to rifle in there and hope for the best.
Not much there. Maybe a couple up to the 35. The completion on first didn't get much, and now the run on second doesn't get a whole lot either.
Well, if you're a good play caller, you've already looked ahead and anticipated this type of situation. Already down on his play sheet, trying to dial up a big third down play.
To throw, it's Murray. He's got his target. That's complete. And he is going to have a Cardinals first down as they're able to get the third down conversion. These two teams all tied after one. Cardinal football here to start quarter number 2. As they've got it with a 1st and 10. They run behind center with Connor. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up. Now, the offense knew it. They were already starting to walk back as that one is accepted. Off the option, here's Murray running left. Only a yard on the keeper, and it'll be 2nd down.
Well, obviously, they would have at least liked to have gotten back to the original line of scrimmage. Instead, now, they're dealing with 2nd and long.
I thought they would have passed it after the penalty. Probably wish they would have now. A give running right is Counter. And this one's going to go the wrong way. Losing yardage back at the 42. Just a 1-yard loss that time, but that's not what they needed. Now they're dealing with a 3rd and long.
With his size, he's a tough man to bring down, but they do a nice job there stopping his progress and not allowing him to get back to the line of scrimmage.
They need 18 yards here on 3rd down. Here's Murray. A short one here, caught by McBride. And he can only manage to get this to the 45-yard line. Well short of the 1st. It'll be a pickup of 13, but it'll still lead to a 4th down.
But I think that we all figured when he caught it that short of the marker, that the defense almost relaxed and said, we've got this covered. And then all of a sudden, space to run after the catch. And now they're screaming, somebody get him down. Fortunately, they got to him and forced the 4th down.
No returning this one. It sails out of bounds, and they'll spot it right at the 20. Minnesota now ready for their next possession. Charles, a very uninspired effort the last time we saw them out there. It was a quick 3-and-out, then they punted the football.
Yeah, and you never want to get stopped so soundly during a series, but what would be even worse now is letting it happen again right here. They've got to get going.
And now a fake on the jet sweep and a give to Jones. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. On the tackle, it was the West Virginia man, Kaiser White. When we talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot, he had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you and get your eyes in the wrong place. But you're right about that one. He correctly figured that one out and made a really nice play.
2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it.
They just keep trying, but so far, finding no room for him to run.
None whatsoever. In fact, you run the numbers, he's under 3 yards a carry at the moment. And this offense on 3rd down today, they've been good. 3 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 8. Here's Darnold. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. L.J. Collier in there to drop him for a loss on the play.
Well, how about that? A dime set on defense, 6 defensive backs. None of them blitz. They're just back there in coverage. Defensive lineman gets the sack.
That's where the O-line, they go to the sideline, they keep their helmets on so the cameras can't find them, right?
Yeah, the cameras can't find them, but I know one thing. The O-line coach will.
It'll be a net of 40 yards there following a 43-yard punt, 3-yard return, and out will come the offense as they take over. The Cardinal offense here ready to take over. The crowd may be losing just a little bit of the edge after back-to-back punts.
They want some big plays. They want to see some offense. They want to see somebody break away, whether it's through the air or on the ground. Now it'll be interesting to see where the patience is on both sides. Each head coach, can you hang in there and not try and force something that could put your team in some jeopardy?
Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
Oh, that's a real nice job there by the defensive front. They just engaged and held their ground. But how about the guy who made the play? We often talk about whether they take a good first step or not. Many times you just don't take any step. Just get your feet moving, get your body going, and then once he made the read, he was able to make the play.
Murray with a nice move. And he has a big gain inside the 40 before being dropped. So that one a hold right guard.
And you understand why offensive and defensive linemen probably go to martial arts schools and work on their hands so often, because that can be the make or break difference on a play. This time he had to grab a jersey in order to make the play happen. Got caught for the penalty.
Now they face a 2nd and long following the holding penalty. Got his man. It's Dortch. So the completion results there in 9 yards. And that brings up 3rd and a full 10 yards.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game, because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
Throwing now is Murray. Jones has it. And they stop him up short of the first down as they get him at about the 43. Give him a gain of 5 on the completion, and it'll be 4th down. Blake Gillikin on to punt here as he'll send this one away. And he didn't quite have the backspin on that one. It hits at the 4 and continues into the end zone. It's a touchback. Now the Vikings offense works their way back onto the field. These guys definitely hoping for a better showing than their last appearance. They couldn't really even move the football much beyond the shadows of their own goalpost, Charles. We'll see if they can get a better, more sustained drive going here.
Yeah, and every team that we ever talk to says the exact same thing. When you start a drive from that deep in your own territory, the goal is a minimum of at least 2 first downs, because even if you have to punt then, you change the field position, right? You flip the field a little bit. They didn't get that done. This time they want to string together a nice drive and help themselves out.
Operating from the 27 now. Here's 2nd and 3. Play action. It's Darnold. Well, this is taken in. It's complete. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. They give them a gain of 37.
We always talk about the guy who paid off the play, don't we? A guy who caught it or ran it. But how about the elements that go into making a big play? This one in particular, able to scan the field, pocket held up nicely. What a terrific job by the offensive line. The route well run, and the football right on the money.
And he'll work this forward for about 3 at 2nd down.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
And they'll bring the big tight end across the formation left. Now it's Darnold. And his throw is incomplete.
We know it's not an easy job to go out and catch passes when people are trying to tackle you and knock the ball away. But the bottom line is, that's a pass he's got to have and a pass he should have caught.
Got to get to the 26 for a first. This is 3rd down. Now Darnold. Escaping the pressure. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. L.J. Collier. That is now 2 sacks for him here in this first half.
Well, many times when you talk about mobile quarterbacks, you get the sense that they feel like they can get out of any bad situation. They keep moving around and trying to emulate guys like the Scrambler or the Dodger. Instead, they keep losing yardage and digging themselves a hole that they can't get out of.
Out of bounds as he appeared to be looking for the corner. He got it. They're going to mark this at the 4-yard line. And the Cardinals getting set to trot out there now. And they will start this drive with just terrible field position, backed up inside their own 5.
But we have seen teams be bold here and take shots, right? Sometimes you go max protection, make it a one-receiver route, and take your shot downfield and see what happens. And occasionally, we've seen success occur.
And he'll find a little space. He gets us up near the 10. So it's the big left tackle who gets tagged with a hold.
And sometimes you're actually executing the block well, and he starts to slip off of you, and instinctively you reach out and grab him. And when it's done like that, it's often seen by the official and called.
Connor up the middle. And he will double the space they have to work with as they take it from the 2 to the 4.
Brandon, one thing about blitzes, they really confuse offensive linemen at times, and what you have to do is lock in on the guy right in front of you. If you don't, you saw the end result. Defensive tackle ended up making the play.
2nd and 9. Again, it's Connor. And he'll take this one up to about the 13. Call it an 8-yard gain. Much better shape now on 3rd and just a yard.
That was a good run, and it got to the 2nd level. And what I mean by that is that's where the linebackers usually play. First level being the defensive front, last level being the secondary. But the strong safety position ended up making the tackle. And oftentimes we call them a hybrid. Combination defensive back, combination linebacker. We saw the linebacker make the stop.
A little eager there coming in from his outside linebacker position.
You think the hard count got him there?
Yes.
Maybe that extra that extra emphasis on it got him to jump, and they picked up 5 yards.
Here's a 1st and 10 now after they successfully drew him off sides. Murray now running left off the option. And he'll get this one across the 20, but only up to about the 21. Give him 3 on the keeper there, and it is 2nd down. Murray now to throw. Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete.
That was well defended. They clamped down on every available receiver. Just got to give the win to the defense on that snap.
The Cardinals on 3rd down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 7. Here's Murray as he sets to throw it. That's complete to Michael Wilson. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. His first catch there, good for 10 yards and a 1st down.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. On 1st and 10 is Connor. And he'll scratch out only about a yard up to the 32.
Nice run defense presented there, and what I mean by that is discipline. Guys filling the right gaps in the right holes, no one over-pursuing, and making a very nice play.
From the 32-yard line now, here's a 2nd and 9. From the gun, a give to Connor. And he'll be taken down after a short gain as that takes us to the 2-minute warning. They follow up the 1st down 1-yard run with a minimal gain of 2. Murray going to throw. will be incomplete.
I like the calmness of how he played the ball here. No panic in his eyes as that throw arrived. Tracked it from the moment it left the quarterback's hand, and that's just where he needed to be to knock it away.
Blake Gillikin on to punt now on 4th down. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. On the return is Powell. That'll be a 49-yard punt, 6 yards there on the return. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. And now out comes Minnesota. As we eke closer and closer to intermission, Charles, remember last time out they punted. They would love to get points here, especially if this is going to be their final possession of the first half.
Yeah, and this is what close games feel like because the pressure is on both sides, but sometimes the pressure is a little bit higher on the team with a slight edge because they're trying to hold on to that, trying to increase it. Let's see how this one continues.
A gain of 11 to kick off the drive, and it's a quick first down.
Any questions of how they'd approach this drive were answered right there. They come out throwing, and they get a nice pickup here toward the end of the first half.
Back to throw, Darnold. And they will not get the connection there. It's incomplete.
And I could see the officials kind of looking at each other down there, silently wondering, does this meet the level of grounding? Fortunately, he did have a receiver in the area, but I have seen less obvious throwaways called as penalties.
Here's 2nd and 10. A shotgun snap for Darnold. Going underneath, he's got Hockenson, and he goes out right around the 39. They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on 2nd down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives them a much better opportunity to convert on 3rd down.
Here is 3rd down and 4. Again, Darnold. Open man is Naylor. He's got it. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Couple of first downs to kick off the drive. Here's 1st and 10 up at the 46. Darnold. Steps away to his left. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. That one a broken play, but it ends up being a good play. The scramble goes for 20.
They asked him to take charge and get them to a spot where they could at least attempt to kick before the half, and he does just that. Didn't trust what he saw downfield, so he took it upon himself to get them into field goal range using his legs. That's coming through with a play they needed in a big spot.
Going underneath, he's got Hockenson, and he'll be out of bounds just inside the 25-yard line. Another nice gain. That's now 30 yards between those last two plays.
A lot of tight ends just use their size and their strength, try to occupy some space and kind of body people away and catch the football. But not this guy. He's a refined route runner. Makes me wonder if he took some dance classes in his background with his footwork.
Setting up the screen here, Aaron Jones. Now the Vikings will use the second of their timeouts as the clock will stop with just under 30 seconds to go in the first half. Now a 2nd and 10. Darnold now to throw. That one complete to Naylor. They get him to the ground right on the cusp of the red zone after a pickup of 5 or 6. So apparently some grabbing of the jersey there on the O-line.
Yeah, just look in the interior, and that's where the penalty occurred.
Now after the holding call, here's 2nd and 20. To throw is Darnold. The Vikings going to use their third and final timeout as they stop it with 19 seconds to go in half number 1. Ninth play of the drive now on 3rd and a country mile. Here's Darnold. That's incomplete, but there is a flag down, so hang on. A big call coming on 3rd down.
So they decline the hold, and that's going to lead to a 4th down.
Now the Vikings will send out the special teams crew here for a field goal try. It'll be a 49-yard attempt from the left hash. And this one looks good. It is good. Right down the pipe. And they take the lead here now at 10-7.
So they're able to end that drive with 3 points in this one-possession ball game.
And ideally, you want to end every drive with points. Most quarterbacks would tell you, let's end it with a kick, right? A PAT, that's number 1. Field goal you'll take. Punts, you really don't want to do that. In this case, they'll take the field goal and get prepared for the rest of the game.
So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away. That's going to be taken at the goal line, and he'll return it. And out a little across the 25 to the 27. Now the Cardinals going to get the football one final time here in this first half. And with 5 seconds to go, this will likely be our final play.
And with time running short here, they'll simply take a knee, and that should do it for half number 1. So we've hit intermission. It's halftime. This is the NFL, and it's a presentation of EA Sports. A good, tight football game thus far. 10-7 the score as we resume action on EA Sports. Powering his way forward. And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. The Cardinals ready to go here to start the 3rd quarter. And they do trail, but they have a chance to possess the football first to try and do something about it.
And that certainly makes it something of an important drive for them, because is it going to win the game? No, but you have to do something to bring some life to your sideline.
3rd quarter starts with a run from Connor. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard.
It's interesting going into this game. There was so much talk from both sides about who would control the line of scrimmage. I think we've seen who has it in this one so far.
Well, they bottled him up. He's barely averaging over 3 yards a carry right now.
From the 35, here's 2nd down at a yard.
Again, a run with Connor. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
2nd and 1 is often an invitation to take the big shot downfield. I bet the offensive lineman said, are you kidding? We just get on our backs and let's go get the first down. They love being physical.
They'll try the left side with Connor.
And slow going there as he'll only get a yard, maybe, up to the 41.
Well, it's hard to have vision as a runner and find a hole when there's nothing but defenders in your way. They stacked that one up really well. But give him credit. Instead of trying to bounce it out and turn it into a big play, which might have turned into a big loss, Kai just took his medicine there and took the 1 yard.
And now Murray's going to set up to throw. The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack.
Jerry Tillery running in there and setting him down.
If you want a lesson on how to defeat an offensive tackle, that was pretty textbook.
Is that a clip and save?
Yes.
That's what's going to go around the league, and people are going to watch that and say, my goodness, that's how you do it? And I feel awful for the offensive tackle, because we always talk about the athleticism of that guy who just beat him. Well, you have to be athletic to try and block that guy. Just in this case, the defense won.
And he can only get this to the 42-yard line, and that is not near enough. A gain of 9, not enough, and it's 4th down.
And that's a play that's not uncommon on 3rd and long, because the offense is just hoping that somehow they can get a guy in space and follow some blockers downfield. Does a pretty nice job there getting a few yards, but he ends up getting stopped before he can get the first down.
And on fourth down, on is the punt team sending this one away. Yeah, he was looking for the checkout bounce, didn't get it. That scoots all the way into the end zone now for a touchback. It's the Vikings' turn on offense. We get ready for their first possession of the second half. Yeah, both of these defenses have been stifling these last few drives offensively. Just not able to get anything going, so what needs to change?
I think a lot of the guys will go back and review, so to speak, because everyone has someone assigned to how did each play work. Okay, what did we use that kind of worked for us during this game? Try and get back to some of those plays, as well as the possibility of showing something you haven't shown already in this game and trying to change things up.
We'll see if they take the advice of Mr. Davis. From the 22, here's 2nd and 8. And now whistles and a flag, and I think we got a jump here. And that'll be a free 5 yards for the offense.
Just like a tennis match, that's just an unforced error. Stay alert, don't jump early, and give them free yardage.
So after the penalty, here's 2nd and 3. Out of the shotgun, here's Darnold. Man open, here's Jones. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. 13 yards as the Vikings pick up the first down.
And that's the kind of play this offense needs to maybe kick them into gear a little bit. They've been stuck in neutral much of the game. Perhaps that can give them a little bit of confidence that big plays are out there.
Now a first down carry by Jones. And they'll get to him after a gain of 7 to the 47.
He hadn't had a ton of success here so far, but you get the feeling that he might be on the verge of popping one.
Yeah, even on that one, there was a little bit of a hole, but it closed there quickly at the end. 2nd down and 3. They'll go again to Jones. And he'll get it out to midfield. Looks like, yeah, they'll spot it right at midfield at the 50. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a first down.
It's nice every now and then in this game not to see people overthink it. Just hand it to the old reliable guy. Let him pick up the first down.
3 tight ends in the ball game here on 1st and 10. A play fake, and it's Darnold. Opted to run for it. The decision a good one. Picking up the first, getting 14 yards on the scramble.
That's multiple times now he's tagged them with a big gain with his legs. Really showing off some nice awareness and the ability to correctly realize when he's got a chance to tuck it and go himself.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Completes this to Addison out left. It'll be a gain of just a yard, and that will bring up 2nd down.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. They're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
Now 2nd and 9. They're going to look to throw. Going underneath, he's got Hockenson. The result, only 4 yards there on the play. And that's going to bring up a 3rd down.
Looked like the screen pass was taken away there, and that was a nice job of improvising, but it's not normal. Usually when the screen pass is taken away, you're taught to just throw the ball at the ground at the feet of the receiver so that you don't get it intercepted and just start over. But he ended up finding another receiver.
On 3rd down, here's Jones. And he's able to motor his way down to the 16-yard line. 53 yards on the ground for him now as he's done that on 15 carries.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense is getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. And they'll keep on the ground with Jones. And he'll get 7 yards from the 17 to the 10 before he's taken down.
That was a really nice job by them picking up the run blitz and detecting it and blocking it and turning it into a nice run. And a lot of times you think if you blitz a running play, you're going to smother it. But a lot of the blitzers, they come in a little bit high. They don't have great leverage, and they're easily blocked and turned to the side.
Throwing on 2nd and 3. Darnold, the quick slant caught. And the Vikings are going to be set up with a 1st and goal on a pass play that moves them all the way down to the 1.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
He'll drop to throw. It's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota.
Jalen Naylor from a yard out. And the Vikings add 6 to their lead.
That seemed pretty ideal there for the offense, Charles. You take a little bit of time off the clock here in the 3rd quarter, decent length drive, and you pad your lead as well at the end of it.
And what it does is let you feel like you're in control of this game, even more so than a 2-touchdown lead, right? Because you've taken that time off, as you noted, which means they couldn't get you off the field. You ran your playbook the way you wanted to, and you gave your defense some rest. What a big-time drive in that situation.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away.
And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27. With the football back in the hands of the Arizona Cardinals.
They trail by 10, 17-7 as they come up on a 1st and 10. Murray now. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down.
Buried by multiple defenders on the drive's first play.
Okay, was it a breakdown in protection? Did the running back not pick him up? What does it really matter? Sometimes it's just a great play made by the defense. Big-time sack.
Protection certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16. To throw, it's Murray.
A slant to Jones.
And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. So they will tread backward on the holding penalty.
And I know that they're going to get coached up and they'll get yelled at a little bit, but let's face it, it is hard not to do at the speed and pace that they play.
They'll come up now on a 2nd and long after the hold. Out of the shotgun, they'll run with counter. And he'll take this one only up to about his 13-yard line. They get 2 yards back, but they're going to need a lot more than that here on 3rd down.
Well, how about the big guy there showing some agility? He just float from his D-tackle position in order to make that play.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Now Murray. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And they're going to bring this one back. It's a fumble return, a scoop and score for the Vikings. The offense, they've had some sloppy moments. Sloppy there again on that one, and it could be the backbreaker.
From a defensive perspective, if the offense is going to be sloppy, you've got to take advantage of that. And that's what they've done all game long.
Extra point right down the middle. And that'll make this a 3-score game now. The lead moves to 17. And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. Oh, a good-looking return set up here. So out now come the Cardinals.
I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
50 yards rushing for him now in the ball game.
Now, that was an excellent run. And when you see that happen, that's when you're seeing guys doing their job and then some people doing a little bit more. Offensive linemen and tight ends, they're expected to block. But the wide receivers, all they want to do is catch passes. So when they block on a big-time running play and create extra space, you've kind of hit the jackpot there.
Connor going to get it again on second down.
And he'll get up to the 43-yard line. Only a gain of a yard, but that's all they needed.
Ordinarily in short yardage, most people don't run a toss because it takes a little bit longer to develop. But some teams see it as a very physical type run because the amount of people that get out in front of the runner, offensive linemen, tight ends, sometimes an extra back, they like to run that play there and try and run over people.
And Jones has it over the middle. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. They call it a gain of 19, and it moves the chains.
Was that a design pass, or what was that?
It was built into the play call. He had the opportunity to either hand it inside, keep it himself to run it, or do what he just did. Throw that pass inside, hitting a receiver on the run.
This is Connor running right.
Trying to get out wide, but he's going to be tackled right near the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there. Second down.
They've called his number a lot this afternoon. You wonder how much tread is left on those tires.
We certainly do, but I always think back to one of my favorite coaches in the NFL, and he used to have a meeting with his running backs every year in the offseason and say, look, as many times as you're going to carry the ball, you should be able to carry it one more time, so make sure you get in shape.
He's able to rattle off 6 on the carry, and that'll get him to 3rd and 4.
This drive is turning into an extended one, and the guy carrying the ball, he's becoming more like a body blows guy. Every carry is putting some damage on the defense. So after a while, I'm not too sure how many guys are going to want to run up and tackle him.
From the gun on 3rd down, Murray. Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down.
Jonathan Greenard running in to pick up the sack.
Oh, you can just see it in their body language. They're starting to see victory on the horizon now, and if it comes to fruition, they got to give a game ball to the front 7. Defensive line has taken charge and controlled this game. Face a challenge of stopping this opposing offense, and they've done so with ease.
So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. And this will carry out of bounds. Where are they going to spot it now? At about the 18-yard line, it looks like. 3 quarters in the books. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. And we return, welcoming you back to Minneapolis. It's the Vikings in possession of the football and the lead. They'll be looking to add to that total as we begin quarter number 4. They'll start the drive with a carry by Jones.
And they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
2nd and 10.
Here's Darnold. Looking right sideline, but it's incomplete.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up. Not that time.
The Vikings on 3rd down. 5 out of 9 thus far. This is 3rd and 10. They'll look to throw here.
And that is incomplete. But the pressure there on 3rd down, forcing the errant pass. 4th down coming up.
3rd down is the down. Both sides know they absolutely have to win. And the name of the game for the defense is pressure on the quarterback. But pressure on the quarterback with contact, that's how you end up winning it.
And here's Ryan Wright now.
Standing right on his own 5-yard line. .39-yard punt, 6 yards on the return.
And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over.
Here's the Arizona offense now as they get set to take over.
Even though they were able to force the punt defensively, still a big hole to climb out of, especially at this late stage of the contest.
Murray and the Cardinals with a 1st and 10 on their side of midfield at the 47. Screen pass to Connor. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 45-yard line.
That one unable to develop, never got going. A loss of a couple, and it's second down.
Well, Brandon, we could see that play developing, and they were hoping that he was going to be able to put a move on the first guy and turn it into a big play. But no such luck. The speed on defense continues to get better and better in the NFL. Pretty nice example there of those guys being able to run from their assignments and finish off that play.
They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this second half. No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they forced in this runaway contest.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. He'll find his rookie wideout from Ohio State here. And they do get this across midfield to the 49, but a small consolation prize as he's well short of the first. All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on fourth down. They're going for it. Now flags will come in. I think this one's going to be on the defense for jumping. A bit of a jump there, CD. He breaks the line, and that'll be 5 yards.
And you've got to stay more disciplined than that, Brandon. That's just a free gift to the offense.
And no move to get the offense off the field. They'll stay put on 4th and 1. They'll run for it with Connor. And he's not going to get there. Might have even lost a yard. He only needed a yard, but he couldn't even get back to the line of scrimmage. And the Vikings defense is going to get the football back. Good starting field position for the Vikings as they have it 1st and 10 at the 45. They'll start out on the ground with Jones. And they'll get this just to the 47. 1-yard gain.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
And here's Jones again on 2nd down. And a pretty athletic run right there as he's going to get this down inside the 40. 76 yards rushing for him now as he's done it on 19 carries.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with. And throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a first down, he's the guy they've turned to. And it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They feel like they've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
On a nice burst there as he'll take this inside the 30 to the 28-yard line. 11 more on that one and another first down. At carries like that, that's how they're going to continue to salt this thing away here, Charles, in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, how about that? A new set of downs. Clock continues to move. No better way to close out a game than to tap those mastodons you have up front and say, guys, keep pounding them. Let's keep the ball, keep their offense on the sidelines, and let's close this one out.
And they'll get him down inside the red zone at the 14. It's also a gain of 14. First down. An excellent run there coming from out wide.
And we used to consider these jet sweeps to be gadget plays or something a little bit unusual, right? But now most teams have some version of this play in their playbook. And I think it's a lot because of the receivers that are being developed.
And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. T.J. Hockenson, a beast in the red zone with his 2nd touchdown of the game. And the Vikings are able to stretch out their lead. So they get their tight end away from the line to the outside, and he works his way in for 6.
Tight ends are not just blockers anymore. I don't know how many more times we need examples, but here's a great one. Gets to the outside, they give him the ball pretty quickly, and they trust him to get those extra yards, and boy, did he come through, bullying his way into the end zone after the nice catch.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And he won't quite make it to the 25. The football going back over to Arizona now.
And a drive that stalled out last time. Went for it on fourth, didn't get it. How does that translate here? I would imagine momentum's with the defense.
Definitely with the defense, because anytime anyone goes for it on fourth down, that's telling you as a defense that you can't stop us. We don't think that you can. And when you actually do, that may put a little dent in the confidence of the offense the next time they hit the field.
Yeah, we'll see if they can bring that pride in the offense this go-around.
That to the sideline and incomplete. Boy, they're going to say there's a receiver in the area. That was close to grounding, but it's second down. Throwing now is Murray.
He completes it to Jones. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds.
19 yards there on the catch and run. A three-score game here late. You can probably rule out the comeback, but certainly some kind of a moral victory to be had if they can get a few more points to close things out. And to that end, a nice pass play there to push things downfield.
Yeah, and we know in this league, a loss is a loss, and no one wants anything to count as a moral victory or, boy, something that feels a little bit cheap. But if they trim that lead down to just 2 scores, that's still a benefit to this squad.
So a 1st and 5 now after the 5-yard penalty from the neutral zone infraction. Murray now to throw. That's complete to McBride. It's an 8-yard pickup and leads to a new set of downs.
Now that's staying ahead of the chains. Really good pickup on first down, hitting the tight end there. Now it brings up a second and manageable.
Just found a hole in that zone. From Viking territory now, they'll come up 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line. Again, they'll throw with Murray. That's to the left side, taken in by Harrison. And to the 36-yard line, taken down there after getting 8 yards.
Nothing fancy on first down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, he often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for second down, staying ahead of schedule. Throwing quickly there, but it's incomplete.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
The offense on 3rd down, they're hitting at just 30%, 3 for 10. Here it's 3rd and 2. Here's Murray. Now they go screen. It's complete. And that play went nowhere. Losing yardage. It'll be back at the 36. They call it a loss of a yard there. And that'll bring up 4th down. Well, it looked like the defense, they were ready for that one.
Really left him almost no room to work after catching the ball. He could throw every move in the book at him. They were there, and they tackle him for a loss.
They're going for it with the option right. Murray fighting, lost the football. And the Vikings pick up the football. And they take possession of the football and have it at the 36-yard line. They'll start this drive out on the ground. And some good acceleration there as he's across midfield to the 48-yard line. 103 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long. No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the 4th quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
From the 42-yard line, here's 2nd and 4. Again, it's Jones. And tackled down after a gain of 3. Leaves him with 1 yard to go on 3rd down. That's some good tackling there to keep him short of that yellow line.
Yeah, defensively, all I'm thinking is that on that play, get me to 3rd down. Get me into a position where I can make one more play and get my defense off the field.
So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the 1st down.
Off of play action, Darnold. That is caught. And he will have a Vikings first down as they're able to get the third down conversion. Well, a clear running situation. Try to take time off the clock. You ran the previous play, set that play action up nicely.
Boy, did they ever, because they had shown the ability to run the football. So now you lose your keys as a defense. You dive for the running play, and they hit them over the top.
Up the middle, Jones. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. At this stage of the game, with the score where it is, the key here is stay in bounds, and he did just that. Not by a huge margin, but he stayed in.
And those come up in what we like to call winning edge meetings. The things that you have to do, late game situations, kicking situations, doesn't matter what it is, the things you have to do to win a game, and that comes up in that meeting, then you practice it. They've got to be happy to see it executed, being able to stay in bounds and work the clock.
Now after the false start, here's 2nd and 7. Now it's Darnold. And that'll be incomplete as it's knocked away. But a penalty flag is down. So who's this going to be on? So apparently some grabbing there in the middle of the O-line.
I've often wondered why that doesn't happen more often for guys that play center. Having to snap the ball and then trying to get your hands into the proper position, that's difficult to do. He got caught that time.
Now they face a 2nd and long following the holding penalty. They'll try the right side with Jones. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. No gain on the play this time, and it'll be a 3rd and long situation coming up. Nice job there defensively to clamp down, because really they've been on their heels this drive.
Agreed, and they really needed that one for confidence, just to feel a little bit better. But I don't know if I would be daunted by them stopping me on one run. This drive has gone pretty well. I could come right back at them.
They'll get 6 there on the run, but it brings up 4th down.
That was a good, forceful run, and it demonstrates why you've got to put your body on a runner when you're trying to tackle him. If you just go in there and just try and get him down with arm tackles, usually doesn't work very well, and we saw in that play, he'll run right through those attempted plays.
And his kick is good, and that will extend their lead even further. Well, ultimately not really sure that they're going to need those 3 points, but they'll take the 3 and they pad that lead.
Yeah, this one's already wrapped up, but you and I both know if you're an offensive coordinator, you never let up on the gas unless the head coach tells you to do so. And maybe you've actually clicked him off in your headset so you can keep calling plays and trying to add to this lead.
Minnesota's kick team ready, and the Vikings boom it away. And he'll be stopped up at the 25. The Cardinals offense ready to set up shop. And last time they coughed it up, led to a field goal. They're fortunate that it only led to a field goal, but still, they're not happy about it.
Could you sense the relief, though, when they only gave up the field goal? And they were able to trot back out on the field and start this drive. A little more pep in their step because it didn't cost their team a touchdown. But they know they've got to do it a lot better than they did on the last possession.
The coach will just be relieved, though, if they recoup with a score here, right?
I think the coach will be ecstatic to see them pick themselves back up and now take it downfield and punch in the end zone without turning it over.
It won't be a sack, but it's no gain, and it brings up 2nd down.
Late in the game, he's certainly doing everything in his power to buy time for his guys to make a play. But in this case, he's surrounded, and all he has room to do is to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Here's Murray as he sets to throw it. He's got McBride here over the middle. And they're able to get this one across the 35. He's up to 87 yards receiving now, and it's a 1st down.
Well, this game was decided a while ago, and that completion there, it's going to artificially inflate his passing numbers. So right now, the only one really applauding probably his agent as he thinks about angling for a new contract.
Murray going to throw. Goes right back to McBride. So just 3 yards on the completion there, and it'll be second down. You got the big lead defensively, willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
Here's Murray. A short one here, caught by McBride. 2 yards on the pickup there, and it brings up 3rd and 5 now. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. You're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
He had him. He was open, but he couldn't get it to him. It's incomplete.
Well, he certainly thought he had a window to push that ball downfield, but as soon as he released the throw, the corner was there to slam that window shut.
And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter, let's see how this plays out. Flush to his right. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. Well, your QB's been sacked 4 times in the game already, and they're the holding goal.
And you know darn well the offensive line coach is frustrated and upset that he's been hit that many times already. He doesn't really care that they hold now. Just don't let him get hit anymore.
Murray staying put for now. They'll go for it on 4th down. Got to try it here. He's back to throw. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And this one is incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And the Vikings, they have the football now in excellent field position. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. An inside give to Jones. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11. On this day, the ground has been his, but at least on that individual play, we just saw the defense finally with a win.
Yeah, they finally got one, and that's a win for them, but all game long, he's seen the holes, and they've been huge for him. Kind of like a baseball hitter in the zone. The ball seems bigger, and he's just whacking it. These guys, they got it going today.
And he's going to take this one down to the 25. They get 9 yards back on the run there, and they're left with a much more makeable 3rd and 2.
Well, this was a very close ball game at halftime, Charles, but in the second half, that offense kind of kicked things into another gear, and they were able to pull away for the victory.
And Brandon, I think they're the type of team that just looked in the mirror and said, hey, ton of pressure on, but we're the type of team that can flat out handle it. They stood up with confidence, and made it happen for a victory.
So that's a wrap for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaughan. And this has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. For more, check us out at easports.com. It's a win for the Vikings as we say so long from Minneapolis.